Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NGEN Markets Training session. Meanwhile, others are joining in. We will start with our topic for today. So, our topic for today is analyzing mutual fund holdings. And after analyzing mutual fund holdings, we will take Q&A sessions. So, if you have any questions, we will try to address it. You can either write it on the chat box or either you can ask verbally, and that we will try to address them. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone and my voice is audible. If not, please let me know in the chat box and we will try to address it. So let's get ahead with our terminal. So as you can see, this is the NGEN Markets terminal as I'm showing you right now. So today's topic is all about analyzing the mutual fund holdings. So how do we analyze the mutual fund holdings through NGEN Markets? You can easily go ahead. I will show you the walkthrough, how you can analyze for all the funds in different categories. All you need to do is you have to go to the fund section. So the section is in the fourth tab. And within the fund section, there's a section called holdings analysis. So in holdings analysis, there are lots of subsections, and I'm going to walk you through with all these subsections and how you can generate customized report by using the Excel button. And we will also talk about reports regarding the MF daily reports, which NGEN Markets generate every single day in the working period. So here you can see the sector changes. Now within sector changes, there are a couple of tabs given here, which you can select equity asset class or different sets of asset class and debt, hybrid and solution oriented. And you can also select a singular MF category, a mutual fund category whereas you want to analyze the sector changes within the last 12 months. So let's consider for all the mutual funds in the space of the equity asset class, you can see these are the number of funds taken into consideration. Now, within number of funds taken into consideration, this percentages denotes the average sector holding for banks, IT software, and the respective sectors given here. So here you can see for 30th November 2022, the average sector holding for banking for 419 funds is 20.99%. Now you can actually click on it to take a look towards what are those funds which are having holdings in the banking sector for that particular set of a date. So here you can see the highest, you can actually click on the percentage and toggle in through ascending and descending order. And you can easily see the percentage based on which funds are having highest percentage allocation and also highest amount invested in crores. Now talking about amount, you can actually change the value rupees invested in crore of the statistic. So this entire matrix can be changed into this toggleable button. What you can do is you can just click on it. And once you click on it, now you can see on the basis of amount invested in crores, on the basis of value, how the value has been changing from the last 12 months. Now these all greens and reds denotes the previous change. If it is green, then it is a previous change, previous increase. If it is in red, it is a previous decrease from the previous month. And similarly, you can click on it and you can check what are the funds which are holding that particular sector in that average sector holding. Similarly, you can do that for a single mutual fund category. To do that for a single mutual fund category, let's take a use case being, let's take focused fund. So you can just type it up here in the check funds with SEBI categories. Now for focused funds, what are the top 10 holdings on the basis of average sector holding? So you can easily see these are the top 10 holdings from banking till FMCG. And let's take a use case of FMCG. As you can see, there's an average sector holding decrease from the last 5 months. Now you can click on it and you can easily see in the focused fund category, which are the fund which are having the highest holding in percentage and even in amount. So that's specifically it. And you can also see the number of funds taken into consideration. So all these numbers given here are the number of funds taken into consideration for this average sector holding and also the value rupees invested in crore. Now we have also given another useful filter holding types. Now this will be more useful when you're adding some hybrid kind of a asset class. So let's say we are adding hybrid as a asset class. Now you can filter the holding types just by clicking on it, and you can filter other holdings as well. So just say derivatives and all those holdings which you are currently looking for, even in debt, right? So that's how you can filter the holdings, and that's how you can actually take a look towards for an hybrid asset class category. Let's say for an hybrid asset class, I would like to check for balance advantage, which are the top sectors. So you can see it's banking, IT software, finance, refineries, automobile, and pharmaceuticals. Now let's take a look towards pharmaceuticals for balance advantage. You can click on it and you can see the amount invested in crores and the percentage. So HSBC balance advantage is actually having the highest percentage allocation in in the sector of pharmaceuticals. So that's how you can take a look towards a singular category as well and different sets of asset class just by changing on this toggleable button. And what about if you want to download these data set in Excel? All you need to do is click on this Excel button and it helps you to actually download all the data sets of all the sector changes within one single Excel sheet. So meanwhile, the Excel sheet is loading. As you can see, this is the Excel sheet. I hope it is visible to everyone. So this is how you can actually download those sector changes for a particular set of a category and even for a particular set of an asset class as well. So that's how this works out. And another important thing here is that you can also take a look towards stock changes. So if I want to take a look towards stock changes, all I need to do is go ahead with this particular sub tab, which is stock changes. Now here you can actually see on a stock level, what are the average holding changes in percentages for one particular stock. For an example, let's take a use case of ICICI Bank. From the last 3 months, the average holding has been decreasing for ICICI Bank on an entire level of equity asset class. So this is equity as a mutual fund. So you can even change for hybrids. So what about hybrid as an asset class? You can see that the sector holding has been decreasing and increasing for a percentage based. And here you can also change the value rupees invested in crores and even change it in shares held in lakhs. So I will just toggle in and show you how you can see the value rupees invested in crores. All you need to do is just click on this value rupees invested in crores for ICICI Bank, and you can check for any particular set of a month. So for an example, there are 140 months, 140 funds, and you can see the number of shares invested in ICICI Bank through hybrid categories. And you can also see the amount and the percentage allocation. So this is pretty useful for any asset class you choose. So let's say we go ahead with equity as an asset class. You can see how the value of ICICI Bank has been decreasing and increasing accordingly. Now let's take a look towards another stock. Let's say ITC. So ITC, you have been, you can see here that for a couple of months, there has been an increase in value rupees invested in crores. But what about number of shares? If I want to check for ITC for number of shares, I can click that and I can check how the number of shares for ITC is been panning out. So here you can see the number of shares, especially held in lakhs, is decreasing. So these number of shares you can actually toggle in. You can just use this button to take a look towards number of shares for any particular stock. So let's say we are taking a look toward ITC Limited. You can click on it and you can see all these three parameters: the percentage allocation, the amount in crores, and the number of shares held in lakhs for that particular stock. That is how you can actually take a look towards not just large cap stocks, but also the mid cap and small cap stocks as well. So we have segregated the entire universe of stock. All you need to do is just click on the mid caps, and now you will see only the mid cap stocks, and you can now toggle in all those shares held in lakhs, value rupees invested in crores, and the percentage average holding within stock changes. Now what about fund counts? I would like to know how many funds are holding Federal Bank Limited from the last 12 months. All I need to do is just click on this show fund counts. When I do this, you can easily see the fund counts. I'm just gonna just zoom in for your convenience. You can easily see the fund counts as 69 in 31st December 2021. What about the fund counts in 30th November 2022? You can see it's currently 105. So it has increased. The fund count has definitely increased from 69 to 105. Here you can see how the fund counts has been increasing, and now you can also change the statistic, and the fund counts beside that will always be the same. So it will definitely help you out in taking a look towards what are the stocks which AMCs are actually favoring currently in the last 6 months or the last 12 months accordingly. You can also change it to the stock as the mid caps, from mid cap to the small caps, and that will help you to navigate through. So that's specifically it for the stock changes. And we also have equity holdings. So for equity holdings, if you want to know which are the mutual funds which are holding that stock. Am I audible? Hello? Yeah. So yeah, so which are the mutual funds which are holding that individual stocks? All you need to do is just click on that button. So just a second. Just a second. There's a technical difficulty. 1 second. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Let's get ahead. So basically, what I was talking about was the equity holdings. I would like to know what are the stocks, what are the mutual funds that are holding that particular stock. Now you can do that either by clicking on it here, and you can directly take a look towards all those 291 funds in the list here. And if you want to download this particular set of a list, you don't have to. You cannot do it here. You can do it directly in the equity holdings. So I will talk about equity holdings as of now. So within equity holdings, what you can especially do here is that let's say you want to take a look towards one stock and download that data set in Excel. How you can do that? You can just type in the name. Let's say we are typing a name like Tata Power. So here you can see that these are the funds that are holding that stock. 3,435 crores is invested across 145 funds in Tata Power company. And here you can see all the data sets. You can also see the holdings in percentage. You can see the fund AUM, the holdings in crores, 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year as well. So this will especially help you to download this data set, this table in Excel for your further analysis. And this you can do for any particular set of a stock. So for an example, let's say we are taking a look towards stock named Hindustan Unilever. So you can just type in that particular stock. Just, just a second. Yeah. So that is the stock we have added, and these are the number of crores. 24,000 crore has been invested approximately, and you can see the holdings in percentage, the fund AUM, and the holdings in crores. So that's specifically it for the equity holdings part of it. Now, if you want to know what are the top 25 stocks which are held by open-ended funds in the entire space of the AMC. So you can actually check out in this panel. Here you can see all the top 25 stocks. And let's say, for an example, the top number one stock is ICICI Bank, which we all know. So these are all the top stocks. You can click on Ultratech Cement and you can see which are the funds which are holding Ultratech Cements. How many number of funds do we have? What are the holdings in percentage? These are also given here in this statistic, which is also downloadable as a CSV, as a table in Excel, which you can take a look towards just by downloading it. So I will just show you the tabular format here as well. So this is an equity exposure, which I downloaded for Tata Power. And you can easily see which are the funds which are holding Tata Power, what are the holdings in percentage, what is the fund AUM, and holdings in crores, and then 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year. These are all return sets, by the way, for that particular fund, which are holding Tata Power as a stock. So here you can download this data set for any stock which you type in here, which mutual funds are holding that stock. And here you can also see the top 5 sectors invested in MFs accordingly. So you just have to hover your mouse and you can see the entire rupees in crores, which has been invested in those particular set of a sector. So that specifically it is for equity holdings. Now, what about debt holdings? So debt holdings is another tab which will help you to understand which debt securities are being held by how many mutual funds. So for an example, let's say we have a debt security in mind. We just type in GSW, right? You can just search through a keyword just by typing it, and you can see JSW Steel, these are the funds which has JSW Steel as their debt securities. These are the ratings of those debt securities, and these are the holdings in percentage. Whereas we have given the 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year as a performance of these funds, which includes IDBI credit risk and also Nippon India balance advantage. Here, what you can do is you can also type in the ISIN code. So let's say we have an ISIN number here. We are just going to copy this. So if you have an ISIN code of that debt security, you can just copy and paste it here. And here you can easily see that, there are two types of JSW Steel as corporate debt and even NCD. You can just type in here and you can see these are the funds which are holding JSW Steel. Now, apparently you can also type in other debt securities. So I will just type in another one for an example purpose. And here you can see that these are the funds which are holding Reliance as a debt security, which also includes Reliance Capital, Reliance Jio, and even Reliance Industries. Now you can, click on these ratings to see what are the defaulted debt securities with their ISIN codes. So we have given ISIN codes for your convenience. And here you can see all the holdings in percentages as well. So these are the funds in the left side. These are the scheme names which are holding these debt securities. Now, what you can especially do is download this table so that you can take a look towards the entire list of the debt securities for the Reliance Capital and all the funds which are holding that debt securities. So I hope this list is visible to you. I'm showing this list one by one to for your convenience, so that you can also use it accordingly and download and take a look towards it and make customizable report by using these data sets. So these are very powerful data sets given here, and which also includes the ratings of those debt securities. So that's especially it for the debt holdings part of it. Now, what about the reports? So you can create reports, especially by downloading these ISIN, this table. But we have given a report section which will help you to take a look towards the entire MF daily performance of regular and direct funds as well. Now, this tab is pretty useful because all you need to do is just click on this buttons, or either we have given another automated way for you. What you can do is you can just click on this plus button and subscribe it. Once you subscribe it, every single morning, post 9 a.m. in the working hour, you will get the email with automated MF daily performance report as an Excel. I will show you this Excel how it is. You just have to click on it, it gets downloaded, and the Excel looks something like this. So this is that MF daily performance Excel which I was talking about. And this Excel is pretty robust because here you can navigate through between different asset classes, equity, debt, hybrid, others, solution oriented as well. And you can actually click on one of the category, let's say large and mid cap funds. And now you can get the data sets of all the large and mid cap funds in one single Excel sheet. Now, this is very useful because now it also shows the category average comparison between all the large and mid cap. So this can be called as a SEBI classification average uh, against all the large and mid cap funds. So especially you can actually take these data sets and use it accordingly for your own convenience for making customizable report. And here what we have given is we have also given the statistic here. This statistic actually helps you to take a look towards what are the best large and mid cap funds in the category based on one particular parameter. So let's say I want to take a look towards the Sharps ratio. So when I change it to Sharps ratio, just a second. Yeah. So when I change this to Sharp ratio, it will actually, the statistic will actually change on the basis of Sharpe ratio. And you will see that, Baroda BNP Paribas is having a higher Sharpe ratio, considering the fact that the age of the fund is pretty young. So you can take a look towards it directly into the system. And what we can especially do is we can do it for other funds as well. So you can go ahead into the index in the left side. And in index, we have given debt and hybrid as well. So I'll just show you one of the debt category for your convenience. So you can see this is credit risk fund we have given here. And within credit risk, we have given the YTM, the average maturity, and even the duration here. So if I just scroll in the right side, you can see these are the data sets. And here we have given an average YTM for the entire SEBI classification of the credit risk. So this is pretty useful so that you can now compare the YTM against a YTM of SEBI classification against all those credit risk fund. and properly compare it if it is beating the SEBI average or not. And here the statistic will also assist you in creating certain sets of reports. So here we have given a lot of a statistic. You just have to change it to duration or YTM, and you can easily see through the statistics which are the funds based on the duration, higher duration or a lower duration accordingly. So that is specifically it for the reports. Now, coming to the point that reports are useful for you to for a current data sets. You can see these data sets are for 30th December. So what about the backdated reports? If you want reports on a historical sense, as we normally analyze on the end of the month. So yes, we have 30th December. What about 30th November? So or 31st November. So you can actually check the data sets of 30th November just by here. So here what you can do is you can download from here. You can just click on it, and the 30th November 2022 data sets gonna be downloaded, and then you can actually analyze it on the basis of that. So we have given a lot of data sets here. It goes back beyond till 2022 May, and that's how specifically it. And you can also change this from regular fund to direct fund. And what about, you can also do another analysis on an individual fund level if you want to check the holdings of those funds. So I'm going to show you a bonus step here. What you can do is you can just type in the name of the fund either way. And once you type the name of the fund, you can check the asset allocation. Whereas where you can easily see, just a second. Yeah. So whereas you can easily check out the asset allocation within position changes by month for that particular fund. So you can actually see the changes which has happened. So for an example, if you want to check for an mid cap fund, you just have to load that fund. You just click on this position changes, but you can see the changes and the largest increases and decreases and the positions they have recently added in their allocation. And you can see that for every single month for the last 12 months. Plus, you can also check that up for positions over time. So for an individual fund level, you can now also check by security and by sector. So if I just check it out by sector, you can see all the changes in percentages given in green and red, which shows the decrease and increase in the allocations. Plus, you can also see by the security. So by security, there's another toggleable button which helps you to change it from percentage to shares held in lakhs. It is similar to what we have seen in the holdings analysis before for the entire category of the fund. Uh, and you can actually check the shares held in lakhs. So these are number of shares in lakhs. And you can actually check it out with the decrease and increase in shares for every single security given here. So that's how it is. And you can also download this table in Excel for analyzing it further and making a proper set of a report. I'm just gonna show you the report, and then we can yeah. So this is how this works out. So that's specifically it for the reports. You can actually create customizable report just by downloading CSV files and using it for your own custom based report in an Excel. So this is it for today's session. We can head over to our Q&A. If you have any questions, then you can either write it on the chat box and we will try to answer them. So there's a question in the chat box. Can we get Tata Power month on month in particular scheme? Yeah. So for Tata Power in a particular scheme, you need to recognize that. For an example, if you want to take a look towards a particular scheme, you can recognize it just by going ahead with, equity holdings. You just search for us for the Tata Power as a stock. Now then you will know that these are the funds which are holding Tata Power.
It is not holding. It is you have to go to a particular scheme, and you will have to show that what is the kind of stocks held by that scheme, and how it is changing over time, month wise.
So then you can search for that particular stock
Any
here.
scheme you go, any mutual fund scheme you go, equity scheme, and you identify any stock, and you can just show how the change is happening in the holding of the stock in the scheme.
So here you can actually check out for the Tata Power as a stock here in the positions over time. And it is given here for the Tata Power. So here you can see the position changes on the basis of percentages and the number of shares held in lakhs. So there was another question: can the stock change be seen for an individual one individual stock? Yes, you can see the individual one stock here within stock changes. All you need to do is just head towards stock changes here, and within that you can recognize an individual stock. Let's say Sun Pharmaceuticals. So here you can see the stock changes on the basis of percentage average holding, the value rupees invested in crores, and the shares held in lakhs. So you can then click on that stock. Let's say Sun Pharmaceuticals was our target stock. You can just click on it and you can see the funds which are holding that stock.
Umer, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case if I want to specify a stock and that I want to check which are the AMCs which has recently changed those stock. For example, IRB Infra. How do I check it?
So you want to
Umar,
check for
just
IRD. Hmm.
IRB
Yes.
infra, just go to holdings and just put IRB infra, and you just check what is the holding of IRB infra in all these schemes. And in a
Okay.
particular scheme, if you want to see, just have to particular scheme, you will have to go Umar. And in a particular scheme, in that scheme, you will have to see what is the change in position in IRB infra over the months.
One
Got
second,
it.
sir.
Okay.
So you can show, Umar, show both the things. You show the holding first and equity holdings.
So I have to specify it whether it is a small cap or large cap also, is it?
No, you have to specify the stock that you want to locate, and you can just put IRB infra in equity and the holding section, and then you can identify which mutual fund scheme that you want to specifically look into, which is holding IRB infra. And say suppose here I'm seeing there are many schemes that is holding IRB infra. So just click any one of the scheme, Ume, and just see position over time on the scheme. Yeah. And then see that IRB infra, what is the kind of change of position.
So this is the position changes given here for the IRB
According to
infra.
this, it has been in the slide, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And you can also change it in shares held in lakhs so that you can check out for the shares held in lakhs for
Okay,
IRB infra.
got it.
Is there any other questions? Umar, if you could just check the chat box.
Yes. There's another question: for all schemes holding in Tata Power, can we see month on month? So yes, we can see month on month. Just you need to go towards stock changes and you need to search Tata Power here. So let's say we are just gonna search the Tata Power here. Yeah. So you can see the month on month change in all the schemes. And if you want to check from, the last 12 months, you can easily click on it and you can see the list of the schemes for Tata Power Company Limited. So every single month is given here. All you need to do is just click and you can see the number of funds and the percentage amount and the number of shares held in lakhs.
Neha, you can please go ahead.
Yeah. So there's another question. Have a query not related to this session. Run analytics in portfolio section lags where there are huge number of holdings. Example, if 90 to 95 securities held. So clarification for this, ma'am. Currently, our system captures, as many holdings as possible, but running more than 75 becomes a bit of a issue with the system. We are a development phase where we will be increasing to more than 100 to 150 securities for running the portfolio analytics. So once we have this update, we will be definitely updating you, ma'am. So are there any other questions?
I think if there is no questions, Umer, if we can close the session. And yeah,
So thank you so much, everyone. So for attending this session, we wish you a happy new year in advance from Engine Research. And for the next year, we are coming up with new topics. So similar date and time, Friday 4 o'clock, we will be coming up, and we will definitely be adding new updates in the January release, and we will keep you updated, everyone. So thank you once again. Happy New Year to everyone from Team Engine Research.